This is a game that Zeka had. Now we're going to look at it from Zeka's perspective. So that's from Zeka's mods that he uses, including the Weeb mod. So congratulations, everybody. You're stuck looking at that. There's no side panels, so we lose a little bit of information about what's happening with the team. But that's okay. We could focus more on what Zeka's doing in the Kid. We covered Kid before. Zeka in the Kid, I should say, before. And you're top tier, so you're just going to club. Congratulations.
Yes.
And this is great. Thank you for the follow, by the way.
Kid is one of the ultimate seal clubbing tier 8 DDs. And, okay, ultimate's maybe a bit of an overstate. But Kid is essentially a Fletcher at tier 8. Why Wargaming decided to do that, I have no idea. Nobody really knows. It's...
We're losing... There it goes.
Yeah, if I tab out, it blocks, so I apologize for that.
So one thing that the Fletcher, it's basically it has the same guns as a Fletcher. It trades away a torpedo rack, and there have been some torpedoes, by the way. It trades away one rack for a heal, a defensive AA fire consumable, and a separate slot to engine boosts as well. But you get smoke, heal, DFA, and you have still a lot of health for a tier 8 DD. You have 19.5k with survival expert. This is a destroyer you want to be using to take DD versus DD gunfights and basically a sort of support destroyer, like most American DDs. But with the benefit of that.
Are you guys hearing sounds from the? I'm not hearing sounds from the video.
I'm not.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what it like. How about now?
That's still a no. So.
Okay. I don't know if you have sound in this or not, Zeka, but not able to hear it, unfortunately.
So, as I was saying about the Kid, though, this is essentially a destroyer to be using to support friendly destroyers, and
I'm hearing weeb stuff.
Oh.
I'm hearing weeb. Okay, so I just have to turn that up, maybe. Okay, I am hearing sound now. All right, so I got this new Elgato mic, which does change things a little bit. I'm just still getting used to all this stuff. Nose into the... Oh, of course, you've got a Weeb Commander, too. Nose into the cap because you've outgunned other destroyer. Well, you don't have too much to worry about, do you?
I'm hearing the wave sounds now.
Yes. Let's become one with the Meeb.
Okay, so the Nuremberg just exploded, so that removes a Hydro. And we know where the Megami's gone, we know where the enemy battleships are. So you're basically free to take this cap, and then, you know...
He's not free to take the cap. There's a destroyer, and somebody's blocking it.
Oh, now there's someone... Yeah, Sorry, I'm watching this on the stream, so it's a little bit delayed for me. So... Yep. But as I was saying about the Kid, you have a repair, you have Fletcher DPM, and because it's a Kid, you can't really build torpedoes, so you're going to build guns. So whatever's in that cap, you're either going to out-trade it, or out-sustain it.
Yep. And it's an Akizuki.
It's an Akizuki, Akizuki's difficult. Like, Akizuki is very good at building out enemy DDs, just because it has so much...
Yep. So it's one of the few ships that would really counter the Kid, in my opinion.
Yeah. I've countered many a Kid with my Akizuki. So, also a smart decision to move away from the cap, and sort of... I mean, I guess you can let the Akizuki take the cap, but if the Akizuki tries to push you out, you can just spot him, and your entire team can just shoot him. That's...
So, moving away, though, from the cap does mean that you are preventing vision from your ships that are pushing it. So there's that to consider. You did get the kill, though. But the way the Andrea Doria was YOLOing, he was probably dead anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to contest an Aki. Right, that's true.
I mean,
But I wonder if you could have still stayed in the area instead of going where you're going.
I mean, on one hand, you're going to be kept because, hey, free sub, because your submarine is busy engaging with the enemy U-69, and of course he's the U-69's not hell that is coming. But at the same time, you do outspot the Akuzuki by about 30 meters. You can play right on the edge of that section and force
Why are
him
you
to
stopping?
come to you.
I wouldn't have stopped here. I would have kept on going. Just go to the damn destroyer the sub, and just blow the crap out of it.
Saipan bombs, I think.
But I
even
mean, if
there,
you're slowing or speeding up, I mean, I'd rather be speeding up and have more maneuverability to try to dodge.
yeah.
Well, regardless, you got the kill, and that's going to allow you to move forward a bit here. Okay. Now you could stop and smoke, and try to kill the planes coming in.
Oh, I just noticed this was a double CV game.
Yes.
They have a Ryujo and a Saipan. So
Double the
Ryujo
fun.
isn't that much. Double the fun. Hey, now Ryujo is much of a because you know, you just melt his planes even with Bayak and his.
Yep.
You know,
You're cutting out quite a bit again, by the way.
I'm moving away from my microphone again. Sorry. But the Saipan is more dangerous because he does have mid-weight dive bombers. So when those hit, you're gonna get hit really badly.
Right. Now, Zeka, the comment about smoking actually wasn't for you. It was for your teammate, your sub. The idea being that if you stopped, smoked, and then turned your defensive anti-air on and priority sector, you might have been able to take down one or two of those ASW aircraft that North Carolina had sent towards your sub. And that might have been enough for the sub to live. I don't know. But even if it was enough for the sub to live, you also wanted to kill those planes so that they wouldn't be spotting the sub, so that it can, you know, regenerate energy or whatnot. So
Yeah.
that was my comments about that. It wasn't to protect yourself, because you're right. I mean, especially because they're AP dive bombers, they don't matter, and there's really not much out there that's going to spot you anyways, or shoot at you anyways once you're spotted.
Honestly, I wouldn't even have had to smoke there because ASW planes can't spot ships directly. So
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Just kill the damn planes, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just walk wherever you want. This poor Kansas, by the way.
Saipan is weak until Saipan hits you with dive bombers when you're a destroyer. Then Saipan is OPSF.
Excuse me.
Well, yeah, I could see you want to get closer. The closer you are to a ship that you're torpedoing, the higher the rate of your hits are going to be, your torpedoes. So that's fine. I don't have a
They are
problem with that
Benson
at all.
torpedoes, but Benson torpedoes are still torpedoes. They hit, they are going to hurt. This Kansas seems completely oblivious to the fact that there is a kid here, despite the fact that he was actually spotted by us earlier.
Right.
So, yeah. So I see 1, 2, 3.
You thought he was going to turn in? What made you think that he was going to turn in? Because the way he was driving, he didn't really have anybody to shoot.
Good point. I probably just because that's what I would have done there. I would have been, okay, there's a kid here, I should please stay wary of him.
Okay, but the last time the kid was detected was all the way at B cap where the two subs died.
Oh, so what you're saying is he must have assumed that the kid would have bombed back to C instead of actually coming here to A.
What I'm saying is there's not enough information to tell you that the kid is definitely going to A. So I mean, I wouldn't have expected the Kansas to really pay attention to that.
Oh, okay.
If that makes any sense. You know, like to the potential threat. That's all.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Thanks. Got a little. I mean, because just that was what I would have done, just because of the fact, like, oh, there's a destroyer nearby, or in the general vicinity.
Well, but you're assuming a lot of things, and that kind of goes back to what, you know, Kitten was talking about earlier. You know, you and I, we've played this game enough. We know a lot of stuff about the game, but you know, a lot of what we do is based off of what we see on the mini map, and part of that is because we've got the last known detection markers enabled on our mini map. Something as simple as that, this Kansas might not have. He might not even know that you exist.
Yeah, he doesn't know you exist until you fire him. And
Right,
you go in.
until the torpedoes are discovered right in front of him and he can't do crap about it, or you open up with your guns and he's like, oh look, there's a destroyer to shoot.
And this Kansas is suffering because, well, it's a kid. And he lost a lot of health to eating those 3 torpedoes. And now he's dead.
So if you're watching this and you're a newer player, make sure that you have the last known locations marked in your minimap. I can't show you guys because this is a replay, but if you hold the left control button down and mouse over to the top left corner of your minimap, there should be a gear icon you can click on, and then make sure it says last known location markers or something like that. It really does help.
Now, the other thing that Zeka did here that I really want to compliment on is he saved the beta. Now, why is that important? Because it's a carrier. Carriers provide spotting, they provide an extra source of edge, they provide an extra source of influence through the course of a battle. And by keeping your carrier alive, you essentially keep your team, you know, you give your team that advantage.
Yep. Oh, it's top right. Thank you very much, Flick. I'm thinking of a mod. I apologize. Fleecy, you're absolutely correct. Top right, you can see the gear icon right there. So, whoops. I just hit a button. So, yeah, right over here. That's where you click.
You know what's really curious, though? I haven't seen Zeka trigger his DFAA once throughout this entire...
Uh-huh.
And
that goes back to my comment earlier in the middle of the map. Would have been a good opportunity.
Yeah, trigger your DFA, shoot down those ASW Ryuja planes. I mean, you can shoot down Ryuja planes quite effectively, even without DFA active, just because of how squishy they are. But at the same, honestly, maybe a good call, just because Saipan planes are tankier, so you use your DFA against those. Because look how fast the Ryuja's planes are.
Yep. Herzo, you should be hitting up Sith Kitten from winning before.
And there's
she's going to take care of your prize.
I'm pretty sure I already did, but let me check again.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent it. Refresh Herzo, check your mail. Or your, Twitch, whispers.
Your whispers or whatever, Twitch whispers? Cool. You're saving them for the Saipan bombers. So, a trick that you can do, of course, to get a quicker reload on your anti-air, your defensive fire consumable, is you turn the anti-air guns off as soon as the planes are dead that you're trying to shoot down. And that makes it so that your defensive fire consumable is on cooldown earlier, and it starts recharging quicker. You might notice you actually haven't had these Saipan planes that you fear so much show up yet. So, just food for thought. You could do that. You get a few more plane kills. That puts a few more of the enemy carriers, you know, planes on cooldown, and you know, obviously gets you a little bit more XP in the process too.
And there's Pelt, of course.
Yep. Hey, Evan, how you doing?
And now you have a Saipan. Good luck.
A wild Saipan has appeared. Saipan, you probably aren't going to be able to AP Citadel like you were with the Ryujo. You're still going for it, though.
I would definitely use... Okay, now Zeka has switched on DFAA. Good save, honestly. Because if he didn't have enough charge with FAA, he might actually be in trouble.
That's right.
Now, if only DFAA would actually scatter attacks like it used to, that yes.
Hey, Gary. Stream's going fine, Gary. I hope you're having a good time. We're doing a I can't think all of a sudden. But
We're doing a charity stream.
Oh, charity stream replay houses, yeah.
We're part of the Bobmas, guys. We're doing the Bobmas stream.
That's right. That's right. Exclamation point Bob's. You can see the link right there. And that's for veterans who have lost, essentially lost a limb. So we're trying to help all sorts of veterans. I believe it's a UK-based charity. But yeah. All right, you switched to HE. Good.
This poor Saipan. And there's the defense expert medal, and I think Zeka's going to come home with this with 2 clean pelts for the launch.
Is that your music? Okay, that's Pretzel that was playing. All right. I was gonna say, like, you know, we're getting more of a window into Zeka's world here. You're worried about the CV. See, I wouldn't be worried about the CV, and you know, I don't know if you're friends with SAT Score or not, but you could always ask him too. Personally, I would leave the Saipan alive and very low, and I would farm decaps on the Monarch and kill the Monarch. The Saipan you can always come back to later. You've got several charges of defensive fire. You can use this to farm the enemy planes, the carrier's planes. And what do you care if he keeps on dropping you? Whereas the Monarch, well, he just got a decent shot on you there. He wasn't able to get the cap because I think the Queen Elizabeth or maybe the Ranger hit him. You generally don't farm a lot. You're missing out. It's fun.
It's fun when you get to farm enemy battleships. Always.
Yo.
It's good when you're farming decaps, because decaps are worth a heck of a lot of XP.
Yeah, I would argue that, you know, I've gotten like 30 decaps in a single match. And not only is it a lot of XP, it's also a lot of team. I mean, okay, in this match it's largely become one-sided because the only ship left on the enemy team is... Well, the only ships left are the Monarch and the Zuki. But if a game's close, playing the decaps is fairly advantageous because you're essentially keeping the enemy team from taking that cap. And while it doesn't give your team any income points, like cap points, neither does it give any points to the enemy team.
Yep. And yeah, Zeka, I did see that you had IFE, or incoming fire alert, procking or showing up on there. And sure, you saw that and started changing course and all that. Fair. But still, I really do think you'd be better off looking at the Monarch, shooting the Monarch, getting him down, and then going for the carrier. Especially with him going farther and farther away, his planes just aren't going to be useful anymore, especially once you've shot the majority of them down. He's just a dead Hulk sailing around anyways, and I'd argue if you really don't like carriers, that's an even better way to troll them than to kill them.
Just leave them low on health, no planes.
Low on health, no planes, you can't come into the battle. All he can do is sail around and sit there staring at his deck waiting for a full squadron for another 2.5 minutes.
It's a Saipan too, so...
Exactly.
It's like, which means his plane regeneration rate is so low, right? I forgot what the regen rate on Saipan planes is. It's not good. And the other thing is, Saipan being Saipan has very small too. Which means it takes a very long time for him to, you know, send out points.
And then Japanese carrier get Kraken and regen? I don't know what you mean by that. Ryuja?
I think he's...
Awesome, sir. Awesome, you got it.
Had Ryuja on the border. I sat behind him, out of reach of secondaries for 5 minutes, shooting down everything he launched. Yeah, that's right, and that's fun, right? Does Yamamoto help with the plane regen? I didn't know if it did or not.
It does. I believe it's like a 16% regen rate.
That helps.
Okay.
I think, of course, I think the more important thing is, of course, the heal. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Herzo's good.
And now
you know,
can just go fight against the Akazuki.
Yeah. Right? Well, 28 seconds left in the game, so, you know.
Farm whatever damage you can.
Yeah,
Never
but
mind.
I mean,
more time left on the clock because the Akazuki. But you still have a friendly Babetta with you, which means he can just spot the Akazuki for you, and you are free to just farm him.
right, but not enough time. I mean, you're in a top tier game. You're basically showing a lot of the strengths of the Kid. Remember, the Kid is essentially a tier 9 ship, or at least it's got several of the tier 9 characteristics, the Fletcher's characteristics. So
Yes.
I don't know how I'm going to
Minus-
be able to take a screenshot of this. I guess I can just take a random stock screenshot or something. All right.